What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I was actually waiting to do this deck profile until I got a Chaos Angel, but unfortunately I was not able to get one up until now. Still not able to get one. They're just nowhere around at locals and stuff like that. So yeah, you'll see my budget version, I guess, of what I replaced that with. But this is Synchro branded, a lot of fun. There are a few changes that I would make, and I'll let you know those in a moment as I go through the deck list. But yeah, really happy with how it performed. I went undefeated at locals. Can't remember what my matchups were, to be fair. In the finals I played Trap Tricks. They did really well, to be fair, to get there. Purely, I beat Purely. So some good matchups in there. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into it and I'll show you my lineup. Right. So, course starting off is 3 Lubellion. This straight away is something that I would cut. I would change down to 2. This is obviously the key piece that you want. This is a great way to start your hand off. But I found myself not wanting to. You don't want to open multiples of these. And obviously you can send this from Branded Fusion and do that play. So this has always got easier access. So I would actually cut this down to 2, but obviously you discard, add like a Magnum or something like that. And then obviously this is going to place you the new trap that allows you to synchro on your opponent's turn. So 3 Lubellion, 3 Magnum. Obviously this one's really important just because on your opponent's turn, obviously if you end up going second, I found a couple of times I was Magnumating something from their grave and then adding Lubellion in my turn in the end phase to be able to use it on my turn, which was really nice. And obviously you play around draw that way, but this obviously adds you Albaz and can add you Albion as well, which is quite nice. And then the last 2 Bestials, play 1 Druid's Worm and 1 Saronir. No Baldrake, it's just not that good. And you really only want to be using these to synchro with, so you just want to have like enough to synchro with, but not enough to brick or have too many, because obviously some of the best decks now, like Pearly and Super Heavy Samurai, you can't really bestial them other than their hand traps. Onto the Despia lineup, we're playing 1 Guardian Quem, and then for the other one-offs we're playing 1 Tragedy and still playing 1 Adlib. This is probably cuttable now. I'm probably not going to play this. I'm actually going to locals in a little while, and I'm going to cut this from my normal build. For maybe a talents, I think is what I'm going to do. But Quem's obviously really important. She's the tuner, so this and a Bestial gets you into a Synchro 10. Yeah, and obviously Tragedy I think is always mandatory. I think you always need to play at least 1 Tragedy, but Adlib now is cuttable. And then obviously 3 Aluba gets you to Branded Fusion. Until he gets like limited or something like that, you're probably always going to max him out, just because he's like the normal summon Alistair. He gets you your Branded Fusion, he gets you your branded cards and gets your stuff going. So 3 of him. 3 Albaz. Still play 3 in this build just because obviously he is a dragon, so you can synchro with him. He is a little bit more awkward, but yeah, you can synchro with him because he is a dragon. And then also, because you have Quem, you still need to just have 1 in grave and then the other 2 rotating within your deck. And then 1 just lives in the grave, so you can keep bringing it back and stuff like that. So 3 Albaz. For the other like Albaz lore cards, so well it's all Albaz lore, but the Albaz related ones. Sorry, I'm a bit sick, I'm not gonna lie, a bit sick. 2 Blazing Cartesia. I might cut this down to 1 just because I don't play 2 Dust Dragon, so I feel like sometimes 2 is wasted, so I might just cut this down to 1. Then I've got 1 Albion, the Shrouded Dragon, and 1 Ikoria. No kit in this build, just because if you get ashed, you got your Bestials that you can play with and stuff like that, so I'm not playing the Deer Servant and stuff. So yeah, this is just like the basic stuff really. Then on for hand traps, I played 3 Droll and Lockbird. I'll put it like this actually. 3 Droll Lockbird and obviously 2 Ash. I probably wouldn't have played Ash if I didn't have to play crossouts, because branded only really loses to Ash Blossom. So, but obviously I have to play 2. Yeah, and Droll was kind of meh. It was okay in some circumstances. It was only really good against Pearly, but they already add a bunch in their draw phase because of their quick play spells. So it's okay. If they have a bad hand, then it shuts them down. But if not, then it doesn't really do much. But yeah, and obviously I had to side it out against trap tricks and stuff like that. So it was okay. It was a bit meh. Then we've got 3 Brand Fusion. Obviously this is just the main card that we're going to be using, this Brand Fusion. Can't wait for the ultis. I would like secrets in the tins, but we'll see what we get. And then for the rest of the brand stuff, we've got 3 branded opening. This is now really, really good. It was kind of like, should you play less? And you always cut it. I always used to side at least 1 out if I was going second or something. But now, because this gets you access to Aluba and Quem, it's just so important now. 1 branded lost and then 1 red. Yeah, this is really good. Like this, you kind of like, if you got Aluba and branded fusion in your hand, then you add it, but you don't set it off Lubellion anymore. You set the new trap off it, Etude. So this is not really the main play, but it's still nice to have because it's just a really, really good card. 3 fusion deployment. Yeah, again, another really good card. Summons your Cartesia, summons your Albaz. Just again, really, really just a free body. And then we've got 3 cross out, and the 1 cooled by. Yeah, we only lose to Ash, so we just need to stop it. Drone Lockbird's not really an issue. Ghost Ogre, not really an issue. So yeah, only really Ash, so we need to stop Ash. And then the last 2 cards, we obviously got Branded Retribution. Obviously we play Saronir, so it's just really good for recursion. And then got Etude of the Branded, which is actually a really good card. Obviously it lets you synchro on your opponent's turn with basically a Bestial. You have to use a Dragon and then a Tuner, so you can use like Cartesia or Quem with one of your Bestials. I did actually think about playing maybe the Bestial Aluba, because you can send that from Quem to the graveyard and then you can summon it back from the graveyard with Quem, and then you can synchro with that and maybe like an 8, like a Mirror Jade or something like that to make a 12. But yeah, that's for like later down the line. But this is also like, once, if you control a Bestial monster, which is quite important to try, and if you can maintain a Bestial monster on the field, definitely do that. Because then it's a macrocosmos for everything that they link with, synchro, fusion, Xyz, anything that they do that with, even ritual monsters as well. So not Xyz, sorry. So ritual summons, fusion, synchro, and link all gets banished. So it was really good against trap tricks. A bit meh against Pearly, but I lost the dice roll against Pearly, so that was a bit of a tough matchup anyways. But yeah, really, really, really good card. On to the extra deck. I'll breeze through this. We'll obviously play 2 Mirror Jades. She's your boss monster. She's the way to get things going. Non-targeting banish, just so good. 2 Albion, the Branded Dragon. Again, these are like basic things, and obviously the 1 Lubellion, just basic lineup, and then no more, no less. So there's that. Then for like the one-offs, we play like 1 Titaniclad Steel, just because it can get big and you can beat over Noir and stuff like that if you play around it correctly. 1 Rindbrum, because obviously you send this with Granule or something like that, or Mirror Jade in the graveyard, and you can summon back your Albaz. 1 Dust Dragon, just because this card is very, very good. It's so good. I still played 1 Queritus and 1 Masquerade. I'll never cut these. I think Masquerade, just in the right time, can cause a real amount of pressure, and I still think Mirror Jade and a Masquerade on field, people just don't know what to deal with first. If they deal with a Mirror Jade, they're just burning away. Then when they finally get rid of the Masquerade, they've already burnt themselves a bit, and then they still got to deal with a Mirror Jade. So Masquerade's still really, really good. 1 Guardian Chimera. This card is just really good. Again, I only really summoned it against back row decks, so like against Trap Tricks I summoned it, but yeah. Then for the synchros, so obviously I played one Lilith, just basically summoned her from Dust Dragon all the time. I played one Dispatter, never summoned it, but obviously it's a very, very good card. Yeah, and it's 3500 attack, so pretty good, pretty good. This is the one that I summoned the most, was the Baron. So I set up like Mirror Jade, Etude, and I had like a Bestial on field and stuff like that. And then with a Quem and that, and then they went to main phase, battle phase, and then start a battle phase. I just synchroed into Baron, and then obviously they're gonna just do it then, aren't they? They're gonna they tried to evenly me, I negated it. So, and then they just went to main phase 2, and then that is basically the game 1. So Baron was the one that I made the most. And then because I don't have a Chaos Angel, I try to think of what has a similar effect. And so I'll put a Chen Ying in. So Chen Ying is just 10, and obviously you do have to wait for something to be banished before you can do it, but you can trigger that with Mirror Jade, or Branded in Red or something like that. So not too difficult. And then obviously it can also get very, very big. You banish quite a few cards, your opponent's cards will then lose, you'll gain. But again, I never needed to made it. I just made, the only time I synchroed was into Baron, and I synchroed like 3-4 times. But yeah, this was really, really good. He was like MVP. I would have lost so many games because the Trap Tricks player opened both games, opened Ash evenly. So yeah, I had to be really, really lucky. Yeah, so Baron was really, really good. So yeah guys, that is my synchro, my branded synchro deck. We'll have to think of a different way because you don't actually synchro very much. You do synchro sometimes, but just not as much as a synchro deck, obviously. It's only on your opponent's turn, and then obviously you have to pick what you synchro into depending. Baron is always a good choice. Was always really, really strong, so always really happy with it, and obviously stopped me losing to evenly. But yeah, I really enjoyed the deck. It was actually really, really fun, like so fun. I forgot how good and how fun the Bestials are, and with the amount of hand traps people have, they're just always live. Like Pearly, yeah, right, maybe they're all Earths, and Super Heavy Samurai are all Earths, but they're using Veilers. So using Veilers, they're using Ghost Ogre, I think, is a light as well. So there's always a target in the grave for you to actually banish to summon your Bestials. So actually really good. I might try and see if I can get like a couple of Bestials in my main branded deck. But yeah, until then, this is what I played. When I finally get my hands on a Chaos Angel, I will like do another deck profile and like refine it a little bit more and make it a little bit more maybe synchro heavy. But yeah, that was my deck, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comment section down below. Obviously I was gonna do a budget combo video, but the ban list came out and those combos are like shit now. They're dead. That's why I didn't post the video. I will be updating my branded budget deck. I just need to have a little think about what's the best way to play it given the ban list now, because there's no expulsion, so you kind of do need to have Quem or Cartesia. So yeah, I'll have to have a little think. But thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.